Hello everyone and welcome to the Commexis Cast Daily, all the news you need to know from our inbox to yours. I'm Matthew McGrorty, the videographer and podcaster here at Commexis, and today I'm joined by the lead strategist at Commexis, Phillip.
Good morning.
So our first story today, Snap has released their quarter 4 earnings report just the other day, and it actually seems to be going pretty well for Snap when some people were expecting them to do a little worse than they ended up doing.
Yeah.
So for the full year of 2017, Snap earned $824.9 million in revenue. Now they did lose revenue, which I'll get to in a second, but overall, that's not too bad for the whole year. I'd say, I could go with $824.9 million.
Yeah, I think I could probably make that work.
So here are just some numbers. This is from Sahil Patel on DigiDay. He did a nice little breakdown that I'll link in the description. So Snapchat for quarter 4 had 187 million daily users, which is up 8.9 million from the previous quarter. There were 285.6 million in quarterly revenue, which is up 77.6 million. There was a $1.53 average revenue per user, which is up 36 cents. More than 90% of Snap ads were bought programmatically in the last quarter, and $100 million in revenue generated for Snapchat content partners in 2017. There were also $350 million in losses in the fourth quarter. So a lot of the success in quarter 4, they believe, was due to Snapchat's, in some extent, to Snapchat's redesign. A lot of the testing for it has been going out in small pockets, and they found that in one of the first test markets, daily users for Snapchat discovered channels grew by 40% following the redesign, and the full rollout is supposed to come sometime in the first quarter of 2018. I know one of my friends actually got the Snapchat redesign update. He personally doesn't like it, but I mean, he basically uses Snapchat just to talk to friends, so I don't think he's really a deeply invested user in that regard. But one thing that I think is really, really key that gets brought up here is, according to Spiegel, every week, on average, more than half of the entire 13 to 34-year-old population of the United States plays with augmented reality lenses in Snapchat. So I think this is a big deal for a lot of reasons, but one of the most important ones is brands can sponsor lenses.
Right.
And when we're talking about millennials, but even the generation after millennials, people are always looking for ways to target them. And
do we have an official name for them yet? Are they like post-millennial?
Are they Gen Z?
Gen Z? Well, what are they going to do after that?
I don't know.
All right.
Gen XY.
You kind of painted yourself in a corner with that naming convention.
But yeah, I mean, I think that's a big thing. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I think it's huge, and I think that, again, while these numbers are encouraging for Snap, the important thing to remember is, until it's really displayed as a viable advertising platform for content producers and for advertisers, it's never really going to get the respect that it thinks it deserves right now. And I think that those losses that it still posted still are a testament to that fact, that they haven't quite figured out how to fully monetize what they do. But it looks like these the augmented reality lenses part is really something that's showing a strength of the platform, and something that they can really do to appeal to a very specific and very niche marketplace. And if we can find a better way for brands to utilize that stuff, I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer when you're talking about entertainment brands or makeup brands or that kind of thing, where you can do stuff that's related to that. But how some of the other more traditional brands that are willing to step outside of what they're doing in traditional media as well, and digital, if they embrace some of these things, it's kind of I'm curious to see what they could do with a lot of creativity behind them to utilize these as an advertising platform.
Yeah, absolutely. There's just one final note. The CEO, Evan Spiegel, also attributed some of the success to improvements in the Android app. There's something I personally didn't know, because I have an iPhone, but apparently the Snapchat app was not super popular on Android for apparently just some user interface reasons and some things just not working as well. So I don't know the full scoop there, but they're suggesting that there's a reason that they had about, I think, 20% increased user retention rate on Android, which previously I don't think was particularly good. So, but something you were just mentioning, brands, using Snapchat in new and interesting ways. days, you have another story about something just like that.
Yeah, so this is from Variety by an author named Todd Spangler, and this on the heels of the announcement about Snapchat's fourth quarter results basically exceeding what Wall Street projected for them. The NBC's coverage of the Winter Olympics are about to begin, and NBC Universal invested $500 million in Snap in 2016 for the Rio Summer Olympics, and in 2018 they're doing the same again to bring live events streaming through the platform, and they expect that they're going to have more than 20 advertisers who have already bought sponsorships for this content, which is more than double the amount that they had invested in after Rio. So clearly this part is building for them, but as far as a live streaming platform, Snap is not the first one that comes to mind, but I guess it makes sense from this point of, is there a lot of investment in the Olympics and these events from the age group that Snapchat targets? And to be honest, I don't think there is.
Yeah, I agree.
So I wonder if maybe they can try to build that up with some of the stuff that they're doing here by at least, because the other thing to keep in mind is the Olympic athletes, most of them are fairly young, so that they should be able to speak to that generation on a one-to-one level and be able to relate to them, and maybe just kind of show, I hate to say this, the American exceptionalism that we've, the whole MAGA thing, and kind of build that from there. But, again, Snap is absolutely geared towards that audience, and I feel like, this is not something that audience traditionally watches. So hopefully, Snap can incite a little bit more of a pride in our Olympic teams and get people watching it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's interesting, especially for potentials for other brands and programs to take advantage of it. I mean, I know while I don't know how interesting the Olympics will be to people in that generation or in that age demographic, they do have a lot of news shows on Snap that seem to be pretty successful that happen every day, and then there's a couple other kinds of programs. So I expect this to at least have some form of use that people will be being able to take advantage of it. I just wonder if it's waiting for the right brand and the right kind of program, because I do agree that the Olympics, while interesting and it'll have those moments of, wow, look at this cool thing that happened like on snowboarding or something like that, whatever. I do wonder if in terms of the long plan, how it will turn out.
I mean, that's what I was about to say. I would be hopeful that they're throwing most of their resources behind the extreme sports like snowboarding and things like that, because I feel like that audience is absolutely captured within the platform itself. So, and those athletes are people that they probably already at least know a little bit about. So
yeah, absolutely.
All right. So just to close up for the end of the day, usually Matt does the sign off, but I'm going to take over real quick and just let you guys know that Len has generously allowed us to all to take off tomorrow to attend the parade for the world champion Philadelphia Eagles, as we're all Eagles fans here and we're local to the area. So tomorrow you might see something that looks like this happening, and you'll probably see some of us in the background doing maybe stuff over here where we're not really doing anything wrong, but we still are celebrating along with everybody else. So we'll be back on the air on Friday, but as of now, fly Eagles fly. We'll see you guys on Friday.